And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, up first, the fire danger graphic, and you can see some precipitation moving into the northeast interior. So that's helped with the fire danger up there in the Yukon Flats there, down to high now in a smaller area, and some big improvement here off to the east. Tanana Valley, still a small area there, a very high fire danger north of the Alaska Range. Otherwise, got some moderate up there over the North Slope. Everywhere else looking pretty good. And for the satellite imagery, here's the next storm south of Kodiak Island. Front wind, rain already pushing up, being carried northeastward with a strong southwest jet right into the area there. And so wind and rain coming back into there, extending westward along the North Gulf Coast, and a band of rain now showing up along the coast of the Kenai Peninsula and pushing into western Prince William Sound and northeastward into the southeast interior. Areas of clouds here over the interior with some showers and thunderstorms today, scattered isolated thunderstorm activity. More clouds with a couple of weak systems. Actually, this batch of clouds here, that's the next system. And again, with a strong southwest flow here, these systems will be moving off to the northeast fairly rapidly, at least for this time of year. On looking at yesterday's lightning, about 1,339 strikes. Had some out here between St. Matthew Island and Nunivak Island over the Bering Sea, along the Nulato Hills here up over the eastern Seward Peninsula, some more up in this area, and then over the usual area here, central part of the state, on off to the east, and then down toward North Waiantoque. And from there, for today's weather, here's that low pressure area, and the front moving northeastward, bringing another round of wind and rain into the coastal areas of the Panhandle and into the North Gulf Coast areas. Showers over the interior there. Out west, not much going on. A couple of really weak lows out here, and winds light. Areas of showers with those. Low clouds, fog, drizzle, covering much of the Bering Sea here. Dry for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. And for the thunderstorm outlook for today, again, usual areas here, Fairbanks up to the Brooks Range, but extending out, thunderstorm possibilities extending out towards the Noatak Valley, Kotzebue area, and then down here into the Galena, Tanana area, and then also in the southern Gulf of Alaska. For tonight, this low pressure area in the front pushes up into the Panhandle, so the winds will be coming down behind the front, the rain starting to become a little more showery, but pretty wet evening, wet windy evening here for the southeast coast. And all that moisture now pulls off to the east, so it should dry out here over southern Alaska, lingering showers along the Alaska Range. And by at least after midnight, it should be pretty dry even down to the North Gulf Coast. Kodiak Island, some moisture here over the southern Bering Sea. Next system here gathering strength and beginning to move to the northeast, circulating moisture up into the Alaska Peninsula. No change over the Bering Sea, looking at very light winds. Low clouds and fog, drizzle, pretty widespread, especially over the southeast Bering Sea, and to a lesser extent some scattered shower activity over the Aleutians, but light winds across all of that area tonight into the interior all the way up to the Arctic coast. Windiest area will be associated with this low pressure area as it moves into the Panhandle. And that low actually does not move in. It kind of pulls back and along the just south of the eastern North Gulf Coast and weakens. And again, the southwest flow will bring another trough, keep it showery over the southeast coast tomorrow, but winds will be much lighter. Look for areas of rain and showers to cover just about all of southern Alaska. Some shower activity up into the Tanana Valley, possibly, and an enhanced area up here over the Brooks Range, and then showers into the southeast Bering Sea. And the next system now, south of Kodiak Island. And taking a look at the thunderstorm possibilities for Tuesday, mostly over the northern interior areas and along the Brooks Range there, down to about Northway, including Fairbanks, down to about the Alaska Range. And then that system tracks northeastward and weakens on Wednesday with rain becoming more showery again over the southeast coast. And another trough through here keeps a lot of showers. Looks like a pretty wet day, south central Alaska from the Alaska Range across the Copper River Basin, even up into the Tanana Valley, all the way up to the Yukon River there. Showers, isolated thunderstorms to the Brooks Range. Cold front bringing rain into the western Arctic coast and the Chukchi Sea north of the Bering Strait. And a little bit breezier up here over the northern Bering Sea now. A few more lines showing up. Higher pressure down here just south of the eastern Aleutian areas, but the southern central Bering Sea looking pretty light in the winds and not too bad. Looks like a fair amount of clearing possible, especially up here over the west central interiors along the mid and lower Yukon River valleys. Could see some sunshine. And for the thunderstorm threat on, or outlook, I should say, for Wednesday, mostly in the central interior, northeastward there over the eastern Brooks Range. And again, the Fairbanks area eastward in toward the border. Lows tonight, 40s and 50s over all of Alaska, mostly upper 40s out over the Bering Sea, and lower to mid 50s for the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow, upper 50s to lower 60s for the southeast coast, 70 to 75 over the eastern interior, 60s central interior, 50s out toward the west, 50s, could see some 60s showing up again over the north slope tomorrow, otherwise 50s along the coast, 50s out over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Lows the following morning, 40s to lower 50s over much of interior Alaska from the Arctic coast all the way down into the Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island. Mid to upper 50s for the Panhandle and near 50 out over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Highs on Wednesday, 60s to lower 70s there for the eastern interior, mid 60s central part of the state, and 60 to 65 south central Alaska to Kodiak Island, 55 to 60 here for the Aleutians, mid 50s in the Bering Sea, 55 to 63 for the southeast coast, and still probably see some mid 60s over the north slope.